Morgan in Los Angeles, California, here on the Rich Eisen Show. Morgan?
Yes, Rich. How are you? It's Morgan Freeman.
How are you, Morgan?
Well, I'm good. You know, I love your show, and I was driving around listening to the program, and I heard the new commissioner talking and talk. And, you know, I'm glad you brought up this issue. It's very important to me. And just want to add my 2 cents, if you don't mind.
Please.
You know, I believe it's past time for them to lift the ban on Pete Rose. Because, look, the Hall of Fame Museum is not a gallery of the well-behaved. I mean, we know this. Like, it's a tell baseball story, you know. And how is it that Pete Rose's bat and helmet are good enough to reside in Cooperstown, but the player who used those tools is somehow disallowed? You see, that doesn't make sense to me.
No, I agree with you.
What I'm saying?
I absolutely agree with you on that front. You know, I mean,
what are they going to do? They're going to have them sell, I mean, we're going to sell hot dogs at this All-Star game. I don't know what they're going to do with that. But it's a nice little gimmick. I mean, it's good, I suppose.
Sure.
I suppose.
Now, I just want to ask you this question because, you know, I'm a huge fan of yours if you are really who you say you are. And in that regard, what children's show were you part of back in the 70s? Well,
now, of course, the Electric Company was something I did very early in my career. And I often played Dracula on that show. And that would be like if, you know, you're going to take the cape away from me because I made Hard Rain. That was not a very good movie. But if you're going to take the cape away from me because I did Hard Rain, that's what we're talking about. Because let's be honest.
Okay.
Baseball is the least exciting sport that you could ever bet on. You know that. This is just, I mean, Pete Rose is committed to the national pastime. You say the problem is he bet on baseball. Baseball is terribly boring. So I would rather bet on midgets doing the high jump that sits through 45 pitching changes with 10 grand on the line. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a big fan of your show, and I got to say something also. It's very hard for Morgan Freeman to get in on this show. I mean, you say Morgan Freeman is calling. You can't get in. You can't get in. The phone lines are lit up. It's crazy.
Well, listen.
How can I not get in on the show? It's crazy to me.
Well, I'll tell you what. You've got a place here anytime you want. 100%. Seriously.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that
immensely.
And, you know, like I said, this All-Star Weekend thing. I don't know. I mean, what are they going to have them do? What do you think? What are they going to do?
Well,
come out and sing a song? What's he going to do? National anthem? I don't know. What are we talking about?
I hope it would be better than Roseanne's. Let's put it that way, if he does that. Thank you for calling
which came first, you know, the chicken or Johnny Bench? You know, that's what I always tell people. You know, that stupid chicken, man. I never understood that.
Morgan.
That was another, yeah.
Thank you for calling in. You are the man. My gosh.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much for your time. Thanks for having me on the show.
You bet. That's Morgan in Los Angeles. Says he's Morgan Freeman. Sounded like Morgan Freeman. Had his deep, dark credits of his career at his fingertips. I'm not looking at the Chris Command Center because you guys don't go way back. Okay.
What's that?
Electric Company was way over my head.
Electric Company.
Now I'm looking at Rhoda, our stage manager. Do you think that was Morgan Freeman? Yes. She does believe that was Morgan Freeman. Okay.
I think it was. I mean,
she believes that was Morgan Freeman. I know a way to actually confirm whether that was Morgan Freeman. Now, obviously, it's April Fool's, and anything can happen on a day like today. That didn't sound like Caliendo doing Morgan Freeman. Tweet at Rich Eisen Show if you think that really was Morgan Freeman. What are our Twitter followers at Rich Eisen Show saying? It's still a 50-50 split whether that was him?
A lot of reaction to Nate Boyer, so let me scroll down.
So, yeah, which was great conversation, by the way.
What do you think? That's the most important
I think it was him. Because, again, I asked him about whether or not, what children's show he was a part of in the 70s. He said the Electric Company right off the bat, said he played Dracula on the show, which he did, right off the bat. And, you know, I've reached out to see if it really was him. We still haven't been able to confirm this. So this might be a mystery that lasts into the 2nd of April.
We did just before that play Rob Manfred talking about Babe Ruth, which led to the phone call that we rigged that was not Morgan Freeman. and this was all an April Fool's
Was it
joke.
really? Was that the truth? Is that for real?
It was not. It was not
For real.
Morgan Freeman. It was a well concocted, not so well concocted.
I don't understand.
We had.
What do you mean? It was very well
It was
concocted.
very well concocted.
We
You thought
were
it was
full
him.
the whole time.
What?
We had you the whole time.
We had you the whole time.
Well, who was it? Who called in?
Oh, we can't reveal that because there's, this could maybe. Let's take a look at you. I think we have you asking him the question and then your reaction to it. I believe we have that. Maybe not. If we don't have it, we can maybe get to it later. But yesterday we were thinking, what are we going to do for April Fools? Del Tufo was the clear mark. We were going to go after him.
But how did you know I was going to take Morgan from Los Angeles as a phone call?
Because we set it up with the Babe Ruth soundbite from Manfred, and it was a topic we knew you cared about.
It's a guy that Ted knows. Josh
Babe.
Robert Thompson does a fantastic Morgan Freeman impersonation. I remembered that Ted dropped this little bit of knowledge a long time ago, and so I said, what if we have Ted's buddy pretend to be Morgan Freeman?
Because we were going to take Jim Harbaugh interviews and dice them up and make you think Jim was calling in, but that took a lot of work and effort. So we couldn't do that one. Brockman mentioned Morgan Freeman.
But what Babe Ruth thing are you talking about?
Well, screwed up.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pete Rose. I said Babe Ruth. I meant Pete Rose.
So we thought...
I'm excited.
Let you handle the telling of the story.
So we thought it would be funny if because we knew you were going to ask Rob Manfred about Pete Rose.
Yes.
So what if we decided that Morgan Freeman was driving around, listening, big Pete Rose fan,
we
called
had a whole
in,
script.
had a legitimate take on the Pete Rose situation. That way you wouldn't think that we were prank calling you.
Right. Yeah, I thought it got a little loose there with the midget stuff.
Got a little loose, but
yeah, I know, but he
not loose
kept it
enough.
on the rails enough.
Right. Should the call kept going, we had another backstory where Morgan Freeman once hung out with Pete Rose in a diner and tells a funny story about it.
Fantastic.
Story ensues.
All right.
We were going to then have him hand the phone to his friend, who's also a big fan, because the guy.
So here I was waking up this morning after not hearing my alarm 6 times, saying I'm going to go through I'm not going to do this whole April Fool's thing because it's April Fool's. Everybody does it. And you guys have already had this whole. But what if I didn't take Morgan from Los Angeles? What were you going to do?
We were going to continue to sell Morgan in Los Angeles.
Morgan in
as
Los
a great
Angeles
phone call.
was up in hour 1. He hung up.
Right,
and
you
came
didn't
back.
go to him the first time.
Right.
He was on in hour 1.
Also, I suggested
And we had him call back.
Yeah, but if you make a suggestion, you mean I shoot it down automatically.
Well, pretty much.
That's your complaint.
That's pretty much it. But
Right.
it worked this time.
We had him call back.
Well done.
On a
And we knew
scale
that
of
you
1
would
to
go to him.
10,
It was great.
pissed off level.
But the fact he knew electric companies saved it.
Well, this guy's done to Morgan for a while. He probably knows a lot of backs.
Yeah.
Like he's probably
Oh,
gets.
what a bummer. I thought.
Someone on the show website actually outed Josh Robert Thompson as the voice.
As the caller?
And I was just praying you didn't see it.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, it's fun. I didn't buy it completely.
Not completely.
No, but it was fun.
You bought it.
That's
but
good.
you were sold.
Does it feel good? Did it feel good for you
Yeah,
guys?
it feels pretty good.
It felt good for everybody?
It felt pretty good.
Every commercial break, we were all going in the back.
When you were
high-fiving.
running around actually calling Zach to see if it was actually him,
Yeah, I know.
that was
I called
very
my-
satisfying.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's fun.
By the way, Rhoda, you're full too.
You're so pissed.
Rhoda's full
I'm
too.
I'm not upset.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people that get upset. Well done. I just, And then everybody's like, oh, yeah, let's cut it. Let's replay it. Let's do it. I mean, that's the hook, line, and sinker.
No.
Everybody's involved in it. Everybody's involved in it. Great job, everybody.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.